Latinos bring unique cultural values into the workplace. These include nationality, country of origin, use of the Spanish language, the importance they place on family, and following the chain of command. While the countries in Latin America share many similarities, each one is distinctly different. It's the Spanish language that binds this uniquely diverse group of people together. And don't make the mistake of assuming that everyone you meet who speaks Spanish is Mexican. If they aren't from Mexico, you can get started off on the wrong cultural foot. Has that ever happened to you? In the workplace, Latinos who come from the same country naturally become very social with each other. Why? Well, the Spanish they speak will have essentially the same accent, and they use the same vocabulary. Because people from the same country tend to work well together, knowing the country of origin is important to know when assigning work projects. From one generation to the next, Hispanics are all proud of the Spanish language. It serves as a unifying force among them. When employers and co-workers speak Spanish, it shows a tremendous amount of respect for Hispanic workers and their culture.
Speaking Spanish in the workplace can have other benefits too. It can improve safety, efficiency, and build more effective teams. It will also give you a good reputation in the marketplace, and that's going to attract some of the best Hispanic employees into your company and keep them there.
To most Latinos, nothing is more important than their families. Many decisions are made for the good of the family and not for the good of the individual. It's not uncommon to see a Hispanic employee reject a promotion if he or she feels that the new job will interfere or take time away from their family. You may find that many Hispanics are more motivated by their families than they are by money.
If safety practices should become an issue at your job site, make sure to tell your Hispanic employee that you want to send him home from work in the same good condition that he arrived in. That's important to his family.
On the job, many Latinos prefer to follow instructions without acting independently. Many see life on the job in terms of doing what's best for the group of employees, not necessarily doing what's best for the individual. As you work with Latinos on your job site, you may have questions about what motivates them, how they resolve conflicts, their ability to take risks, and their resourcefulness, along with their ideas about what makes a good employee and what makes a good supervisor. Most Hispanics would prefer to avoid conflict altogether. Negotiation and conversation are ways of life. Asking for opinions are very important because most Latinos are very passionate about what they think, and they want to discuss it with you.
If you see one of your Latino employees making a mistake and you need to correct it, make the correction privately. Never embarrass a Latino worker in front of others or cause him to lose face. That's an important cultural point to remember.
If you asked most employers to describe their Hispanic labor force, many will describe them as being honest, hardworking, and extremely skilled workers who take pride in doing a job well. Many display a high level of resourcefulness and creativity. The concept of what makes a good employee to a Latino can be different from what you think a good employee should be. Many foremen expect an employee just to see what needs to be done and to go do it. A Latino worker, on the other hand, would prefer to wait on your instructions. Whereas many of us will tell the boss what he needs to hear whether he likes it or not, a Latino employee would prefer to tell you what you want to hear.
Now let's look at some concerns Hispanic employees can have.
Hispanic employees fear many of the same things that all of us do. These include losing a job and discrimination. Many also have fears about immigration status and how adopting American lifestyles will affect their families and their identities.
Culturally speaking, just as a Latino employee's idea about what makes a good worker can differ from yours, his concept of what makes a good foreman or a good supervisor can also be different from yours. You see, in Latin America, a business owner or a good foreman is often described as being larger than life, full of great personal magnetism and charisma. In Spanish, this is called personalismo.
An American supervisor may go strictly by the book, but in Latin America, it's not uncommon for a supervisor to bend the rules a bit to take care of his own. Sometimes he even expects to be consulted about an employee's personal decisions or family life. You can be sure he will know the names of his employees' wives and children, and he will ask about them often. American employers are always looking for ways to make communication more streamlined and effective. But in Latin America, the boss who takes time to chat with his employees is rewarded by great loyalty.
Effective multicultural management hinges on treating everyone equally and fairly on your workforce. Inclusion prevents employees from becoming disenfranchised. When employees don't feel they're part of the team, that feeling can easily lead to dissatisfaction, which in turn can cause conflicts, costly mistakes, and lapses in safety practices.
Here are a few tips for handling diversity on the job and promoting inclusion among your Hispanic employees. First, learn some basic survival Spanish skills. Speaking some Spanish sends a clear signal to your Hispanic employees that they are valued in your workplace. Next, make sure you are pronouncing your employees' names correctly and don't hesitate to shake hands. The human touch is always important. There's no better way than a handshake to show acceptance. Next, ask questions. Ask about your employee's family and be as flexible as possible about time off for family events. Also ask for opinions. Make everyone feel like they are an important part of the team. All of us want to be included. If you are committed to improving how you and your staff interact with the Latino employees and subcontractors in your workplace, it will have extremely positive results. You will see improvements in safety and efficiency. You will also recruit and retain the best employees.
I hope this short video has given you some practical strategies for managing more effectively in a multicultural environment. And I hope it's answered some of your questions about Hispanics in the construction workforce. If you'd like to read more about it, I've included a reading list on the following slide. As you go back to your job site, remember, diverse minds on diverse teams can produce brilliant results. I'm Myelita Melton. Muchas gracias.